Okay, hi. This is Dave Johnston again with Day Trade the Markets, and this is a follow-up on an email that I had sent, or I'm sorry, a video that I had recorded earlier on a long trade. If you recall, this blue arrow points to where we were stopped. Right here is where we had entered that trade. The blue line here is what we classified as a major barrier, and in this case a support barrier. And you can see here that when the market came down and tested that major support, it did so with this selling magenta bar. And the high of that magenta bar was taken out pretty quickly, and that's where we got long. It backed off a few ticks here and then had a nice rally. We took partial profits on that and then put a break even in here right at our entry price. We just got nicked on it right here when it fell off, came back up and so forth. And I was saying at that time, if the market could break down below here a second time, if you will, it could very well have a good strong move lower because this 41.25, 41.75 was a pretty important barrier. So that's what I've done here. I put in a sell stop and got short at 41.25. And right now I've got a buy stop way up here. Now I'm going to adjust that, and I'm going to bring it down here just above this area right in here. You can see that we had this is a nice selling, level 1 selling bar right here. It kind of hovered there for a little bit, and then we've got this other really nice selling bar as well. So I would consider this I don't know, I guess an aggressive trade in the sense that we're really looking for a breakout here for the market to really, catch a good head of steam and sell off in a very aggressive manner. So we'll just obviously have to wait to see if we get that. But it's
A vast virus database has
in
been
other words, it's got
updated.
really good potential. Whether or not that's going to really unfold in this market sell-off, remains to be seen, obviously. But I think the idea on this trade was just the fact that, obviously we'd had some really good selling here today. The market had a high up here and sold off in a good, strong fashion. We had a really nice selling high velocity move right here. Then we had the good follow through. Then we had the rejection of the lower prices with the selling level 3 bar that then had a bounce. We couldn't get back up to this area up in here. The first shot we didn't get there, came back down, found support, gave it another shot and matched that high, and now we've taken out this test low right here. So that's and so I think the story of this market here today is that it had sold off fairly nicely overnight, and actually went down below the 62 area, which was a potential support, and obviously came down a lot more than that. We had a high overnight at 70, low at 55.25, and our high here in the regular trading hours, I believe it's around 58.50. And obviously we've had a pretty good sell-off from there. So this trade has really got some pretty good potential. My initial stop in here is a little more than 2 points, which is more than I like, but sometimes you got to do that, I think, on a breakout move. I could very well change this stop right now. We just had a bounce up to the top of this level 2 selling, and that bar decelerated. And the reason I'm saying that is that we know that because it had, I'm talking about this bar right here, this buying bar right here, that has a dot and a triangle above it. It means that when the market tried to be bought up, it was a divergence bar in that it had more selling than buying, and obviously the buying in there also decelerated. So that's a natural kind of resistance, if you will, and the market really shouldn't get above there. I'm going to give it a little bit more room because I think the potential on this particular trade is pretty darn good. If this market can continue lower and hold below that 41.75 where I have the blue line, that's pretty darn good. if I hadn't have got in with a sell stop, I would be looking to get in short right now because the market has, it's come back through here. It hasn't yet made a new low for the day, but it did come back down through the 41.75 support. When it did have the bounce, it, as I just said a moment ago, it decelerated and had a divergence in there when it did try to be bought up, and now the low of that's been taken out. So I think we're in good shape here for now. And what I will do now, that the high of this bar right here on this deceleration bar is 42.75. So I'm going to adjust my stop to 43.25. Just bring that down to here. And so our stop now is, we do have a 2-point risk. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I think this trade's really got some good potential. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look to exit that first target. I think we should get a good move on that, and I'm expecting the next area probably in around the 37 area. So if I go to, I'm going to go at 37.75, which will give me about 3.5 points, and I'm going to buy half the
Order
position,
pending.
which is 4 contracts, back at 37.75. So I've got my stop in there. I've got a 2-point risk on my stop, and our first objective on this trade is 3.5 points, with the potential of perhaps having a really good sell-off here today. So we'll just we'll see how this goes. We've been in the trade here for a few minutes, 6 or 7, 8 minutes, something like that. So what I will do now is I'll just put the video on pause, and I will fire it back up here hopefully in a few minutes, but when the market dictates. Okay, I've just started the video back up a few minutes later. You can see it did have that pop up here to 42, and now it's come down to 38.50. This little pop up here, I think what I will do now is, it hasn't reached that 4-point or 3.5-point objective yet. Hopefully it still will, but in the meantime I think I'll reduce the risk. I'll use this little bounce right here and bring my stop down to 42.50. Okay, so I'm short at 41.25, and now my stop is at 42.50, so I'm risking 1.25 points at this point on the trade. And as you can see, we are getting some pretty good selling in here. We got the when the market first burst lower and tested the earlier low right here, it did so on a nice level 2 selling bar. The market did come up and test the high of that bar and gave a nice deceleration and divergence, and sold off from there. Wouldn't be at all surprised if it does something similar in here, because I think this trade really does have some pretty good potential. So we'll just let it ride here for a little bit, and we'll start the video back up when something else important or noteworthy occurs. Well, as you can see here, the market has come right back up to within a tick of our stop. We're risking 5 ticks on this trade. Came within a couple of it here and then backed off. But this kind of rejection is not good for my short position. I'm leaving my stop where it is. I'm only risking 5 ticks on this trade. But I think if I do get stopped out on this trade, I'm really going to look to see if I can get on the long side, because this level right here at 41.75 I consider to be pretty important. And if the market cannot continue to remain below there, I know it's hovering around there right now, it has traded below it, then we could get a slingshot effect, and the market could have a really strong short covering rally. So I'm just considering that at the moment here, and if we do get stopped on this trade, that's fine. It's not a big risk. It's just 5 ticks, so It's somewhat disappointing just in the sense that we had a 3.5 point target here, and the market came down, I guess, what was that be, down to 38.50. So what's that? 2.75 points in our favor. Didn't quite get us filled. Didn't quite reach our objective. But at any rate, it has had a fairly nice bounce here. But I think it's, if it may just be in the throes of, really trying to decide whether or not this 41.75, is kind of worth saving or not, and yet to be determined. I know I entered this trade in somewhat of an aggressive fashion, as I had mentioned earlier, and we're just going to have to wait and see how it turns out. I think if we do get stopped on this trade, we're going to have to look to potentially get on the long side. I'm not going to do it right away. I'm not just going to reverse it at 42.50. But if it does get stopped, then I'm certainly going to consider it and look to get long, perhaps at the earlier low that we had today at 40.25. But for the time being, I'll just leave the trade in there, and hopefully this little bounce that we just had is short-lived, and the market can continue to move lower. But we'll just have to wait and see. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up for a minute, and I'll pause the video now and start it back up when I think it's time to. Okay, just fired up the video again here. Something just developed that I don't like, and that's this bar right here. You can see the market after bouncing up to here. We salvaged our position. We didn't get stopped, and then it came down. But this is good rejection off of here, and it's already taken out the high of that bar. If this was a selling bar, a paint bar, I would just exit this trade right away. But this was not aggressive selling, so the rejection here as a result is not nearly as pronounced. This is one of the things that got me long on a trade, I think just yesterday, that's also been posted that you can take a look at. So I just wanted to point that out. We've still got our stop in here at the same place. Now if this bar's low can get taken out, that's obviously going to be good for us, and I would like to see that happen fairly quickly here. Any rate, we're still in the game here, and I just wanted to bring you up to date as far as just a quick analysis of how this trade is developing. So I'll let the trade go and fire up this recording shortly. Okay, just bringing you up to date here. The market just dropped nicely. Unfortunately, we didn't get filled. It came within a tick, and now it's bouncing again. So still got the stop in there, and we'll just keep monitoring this. So unfortunately, we didn't get filled there, just missing it by a tick, but that's kind of how it goes sometimes. So we will I'll restart the video again shortly. Okay, this just started up here a couple of minutes later. You can see the market came quickly up. That rallied from what, 38 to 42 almost. So I don't know what's going on here. Something in the news perhaps, or whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and just get out of this trade. I'm into it for 8
Order
contracts
pending.
here, and I'm just going to go ahead and exit right there. I'm going to
Order pending.
this,
order canceled.
Might have to go ahead and take a tick loss on this, but any rate, that's just kind of how it is. These kind of rejections off of lows like that, they really kind of bother me. I mean, it just shows you how strong the market is if it can get low enough and really start to move. Didn't get filled here, so I'm going to have to raise that up a little bit.
Order filled.
So I'm out of that. I'm going to go ahead and purchase this right here. I've got 4
Order
on
pending.
immediately that I'd like to get in here. As a matter of fact, I think I'll buy another 4.
Order pending.
Right away on top of that deceleration bar where the previous stop was. So hopefully we can get in there. And it appears that the rejection off of these lower prices was pretty doggone strong. And just missing our first objective there by a tick, obviously somewhat disappointing. But that's that's kind of how it goes sometimes. So I'm going to leave as you can see, I've got one order in here at 42 and the other one at 42.25. This upper one, I'm just going to raise it up just a little bit here to 42.75.
Order filled.
Which is above this little 42.25 here, just to make sure I get on board here, because this thing could really start to rock and roll. I've just done that with half of position, and the other half is at 42.25, which is 2 ticks above the blue line here, which is the 41.75, and that's sort of our line in the sand kind of thing. So hopefully get a little bit of a dip here, get filled on that so we can get our full complement on, and then hopefully see the market rally. So that's what I'll go ahead and we'll just leave it be for now and see what we get out of that. And I'll pause the video and take it forward from there. Okay, just bringing you up to date here, you can see that the market did give us a little bit of a dip, so we're now long 8 from 1542.5. So I want to make sure I get my stop in here just in case something weird goes on. And we're long here at 42.5. So I usually like to put around about a 2-point stop or not much more. I think right here I'm going to put the stop at 1540. So I'm going to put a sell stop in right
Order
there,
pending.
there, just a couple ticks below this dip, and certainly well below the 41.75. So I got a stop in here 2.5 points. I don't have an objective in yet on the first target, but what I think I will do is just go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and place that up in this area in here around the 45 area, and we're long at 42.50, so I'm going to put it at 45.50. Sell. We're going to sell
Order
forward there.
pending.
That's half the position. So we got our stop in here. We got our first objective in. Market's starting to get a little bit more lift in there. So we'll just go ahead and put it on pause, and as the market develops, I'll go ahead and restart it. Okay, just restarted the video here. You can see that the market did have a bit of a bounce from the 42.50 where we were long up to 44.75. I've still got the stop in here, so I'm going to make an adjustment on that stop, and I'm just going to bring it a tick underneath the blue line here, which is at 41.75, so 41.50, and now we are risking 1 point on this trade. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully we can still get a pretty good lift from here. Let's see. Let me just change the scale on this just a little bit. There we go. The top of this selling move here was right at around the 42 level, and then our barrier here is 41.75 to 42.25. So I think what I'll do is I'm just going to drop it just one more tick rather than just 1 tick below the blue line. I'm going to put it 2 ticks below the blue line at 41.25. So I'm risking 5 ticks on this trade. Once again, the market has moved nicely, but didn't quite hit our first objective. Perhaps I'm trying to squeeze a little bit too much out of these trades. After all, that previous short trade here moved, I think it was 3.25 points, and we were trying to get 3.5, and then it quickly moved against us. So, but I'm just going to leave this for now, and we'll restart the video here when we see when something else develops. Okay, just getting back in here to the trade. You can see we just got filled on our objective up here, so that's nice. Had a nice gain on that. So you can also see that when the market did come down here, it just dipped 1 tick below our blue line here, which is sort of our line in the sand, and I had put the stop 2 ticks below it, so that worked out well. And obviously a little fortunate there. It did come within a tick of us getting stopped. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put in the break-even stop here now that the market has moved from 42.50 up to 45.50. So the market's moved 3 points in our favor. I really should put a break even. Actually, that was my mistake earlier here when we were short here. I think at that time we were short about 41.50, and it did get down to 38, and I didn't put the break-even stop in the market turned around. We ended up by taking that small loss before getting in on the long side here. So yeah, it was a mistake on my part. But anyway, we're back in the long side here. We've made a good profit, getting our first objective here. I'm not going to put in a second objective for the time being. I'm just going to leave this stop in here. Well, actually, come to think of it, perhaps I will. I think we've got that next barrier up in here at around 48 and change. So I think I'll go ahead and put in an order here just below there at 48 to sell 1/4 of the position.
Order pending.
Because that's a fairly good profit too. That's a 5.5 point gain. So if it can get back up there and hit that 48 area, that's obviously pretty nice. So we'll give that a try for now, at any rate. So when we get further developments, I will restart the video. Okay, just restarted the video here again. Several minutes later, you can see that it kind of hovered in there after having that nice bounce where we got the blue arrow here where we hit our first objective. I do have this sell limit in here at a second objective at 48, and you can see we've gotten pretty close to it, just hit 47.50, a couple of ticks from it, so I just wanted to bring you up to date on that. The other thing I am going to do here at this time, you can see right here we've had a nice level 2 buying bar, a level 3, the most powerful is a blue. The second most powerful is the level 2, which is a green, which we've got right here. So I am going to go ahead and adjust my stop. You can see here I've got a stop for the remaining 4 contracts that we have on. So I'm going to increase that and pull that up to here, just a couple of ticks below the low of this buying level 2 bar. And so that stop is now at 44.75, as you can see. Our long is we are long for 42.50, so that'll lock us in a couple of points there, 2.25 points. So so that's good. It's now the last time, earlier on this video, I know this is kind of turning to be a long video and keep stopping and starting it, but we came down here earlier, if you recall, on that short trade. We were short from right in here, just below the blue line at 41.50, 41.25, I think it was, and it came within a tick of our objective and then turned right around. And as I said a moment ago, this is I really made a mistake on that time because I didn't put in the break-even stop. We ended up by losing a few ticks, and then I reversed the trade, and we did get long here, obviously at 42.50. So at any rate, so I've made this adjustment here, and at least we lock in a couple of points here on that. So hopefully we're going to get filled up in here. Whoops, what am I doing? I didn't mean to move that. So we got pretty close to it. So at any rate, that's where we're at with that right now, and hopefully we can get filled on this at our 48 objective here momentarily.
Order filled.
Okay, there we go. So we just got filled on that, so that's good. And we're going to leave our stop right here for the time being. As I said earlier, this could turn out to be a pretty nice trade with the inability of the market to hold below this area here. It spent obviously quite a bit of time below here. This first move down here was good, and then we tested the resistance area here. We came down and made the new low, and as you can see, we just made it by well, let me just check on that. I think was it just a tick, 38.50? It's 2 ticks, and then we had that swift turnaround. We could end up with a really nice trade off of this. So we are down to 2 contracts, so I've got to adjust this too. Bring that down to 2. There we go. And we'll just leave it there for now. And as we have further developments, I will restart the video. Okay, just want to restart the video here. It looks like we're in jeopardy here of being stopped. So just want to kind of bring you up to date. We did have a nice move all the way up to that resistance area. You can see it up in here. We had exited 1/4 of the position at 48, just below this resistance area, knowing that this resistance area could, very well cap the market, at least short term, which it did, and the market's come in. We've got our stop here placed just a couple of ticks below the low of this. Actually, it's 3 ticks below the low of this level 2. This green bar right here, which is a level 2 buying bar, a very strong, pretty aggressive buying. Oftentimes the market will come back down and test towards the low of it before having another leg higher, and therefore that's why I have the stop here just a little bit below it, in this case 3 ticks below it. So who knows, we may get stopped out of here momentarily, but I just wanted to kind of bring you up to date where we're at with this. On the whole, the trade is, it's worked out quite nicely. We've taken a couple of profits at our first and second objectives already. The trade is looking good, and but I just wanted to bring you up to date on where the stop is, and obviously close to being stopped out. So I'll stop the video here and update as the market dictates. Okay, just had to restart the video. We just got stopped on our stop order there, and if you remember correctly, I had it placed at 44.75 right here. We just got stopped out. So this trade here, we were hoping that we might get, kind of lucky in a certain degree. We did exit. We actually entered this last trade here at 42.50 right in here, and we exited part of the position at let's see, at 45.5. Yeah, it was right in here, and then we also exited. That was half the position there. We exited 1/4 of the position up there at 48, because we knew that there was a resistance area carried over from this resistance area that we had right here. So we knew that this is a potential resistance area, and that's why we exited there. So this was our initial entry right here. So this last trade worked out okay. We had other trades. Let me just was updating how the trades actually went so far today, and I created this little mock-up on the earlier video. I'll bring this over here so you can see it. These were the results from the trades today. We had that earlier trade. We were long from 43.25. We exited half the position at 44.75, and then we were stopped at break even on the other half. So we made a 1.5 on half the position, or 4 contracts. So we netted 300 there. Then we got short at 41.25. We ended up by exiting that trade for a 3 tick loss. And this is, I kind of blew this one because the market moved, I think it was about 3 points in our favor, and I meant to adjust the stop to break even, but didn't. Ended up with a $300 loss on that trade. Then we ended up by reversing, in essence, and getting long. It wasn't really a reversal, but not a true reversal, but in essence it was a reversal. We entered half the position at 4 contracts at 42.75, the other half at 42.25. We were long another 4 there. We exited half of that position at 45.50 for a 3-point gain, which I've written down here. So that was a $600 profit on that, exiting the first half of the position there. Then we had the other exit here at 48 even. So that was on 2 contracts. That was a 5.5-point gain, or $650. And then the final was the exit that we just had when we got out of the long from the remaining 2 contracts that we were long at 42.75. We exited at 44.75 for a 2.25-point gain on the final 2, for a total of 225. So that trade was 1,475. So that was a nice trade, even though we did get stopped with just a 2.25-point gain on the final 2. So in essence, we broke even there those first 2 trades, and then had a nice profit on the final trade. So that's how we actually ended up so far today, at any rate. And so I'll go ahead and stop this video now. I know it's been kind of long, even though I've stopped and started it. But when I'll just take this off, you can see here that this last trade, for example, at my time, we entered around 10 o'clock, held on to this for about an hour and 40 minutes. So at any rate, that's how it goes sometimes, but it still worked out well. So just wanted to bring you up to date on the results on those trades for today. Obviously, if you have any interest in what we're doing here, you can locate us at DayTradeTheMarkes.com. Why don't I go ahead and just write that in there for you. Contact us at info@DayTradeTheMarkes.com. I'll just bring that over so you can see it. So any questions or any comments, just get a hold of us here, info@DayTradeTheMarkes.com. My name's Dave Johnston, partner is Justin Weinrob. You contact us, either one of us, with this address. Ask us any questions about these trades or our software and our program. So other than that, thanks for taking the time to watch the video, and we will see you again soon.